Yeah, again, agree a lot with what Peter's saying there. But it's not the job of councils to decide what happens and where it is and what's going to be there, because it has to be commercially viable. It has to be something that will last and provide that. But what it is the job of the council, what it is the job of the mayor to do, is to set that vision and tell investors and show them what the potential of Croydon is. The job of the mayor is to make Croydon investable and give it and show them that there is that return that can be done here. The issue that we've got is that when it comes to things like arts, music, entertainment, we've got the Fairfield halls that sit empty, for large parts of the year. I've been in conversations with music promoters and venue people and actually the managers of some big bands that tour across America that say, what do you need to bring your band here to Croydon? And the answer is, well, actually the Fairfield halls doesn't really work for what we have here to be able to do that. So I think if you want that vision, you've got to start by addressing licensing issues, planning issues as well. Set the conditions that would turn around and say Croydon is an absolute gem to invest in. And when you look at it, and you look at the real estate that's in that Nestlé building, in and around St George's Walk, opposite the Fairfield halls, you've got trains that run directly to Gatwick that never stop throughout the night, trains into central London, you've got trams that can bring people in, night buses. There is no last train home from Croydon to many places to do that. So why aren't we building on our nighttime economy? Why aren't we building upon that as a space, and then we turn around and say, right, okay, the exact venues, what gets built and what gets done, I think, that's not something that the mayor will, direct from a top down. But when it comes to setting the conditions and making Croydon investable again, that's exactly what I'm looking to do with Mayor of Croydon.
Thank you, Richard. Right.
Yeah, so I totally agree that we have to make the case for Croydon as a place for viable investment. Largest borough in London, more young people than anywhere else, great transport links. In 15 minutes you can be in central London, or you can go and walk in the countryside. The diversity, the energy of the place, the talent like the Brit School, completely we should be making the case for that. But we also need to take specific targeted action on sites like the Nestlé Tower. I just find it like the most horrible, rotting carcass in the middle of our town, right next to St George's Walk, that giant hole in the ground. Imagine that if it could be like a public square or something like that. It would transform Croydon. So here is what I would do. Within my first 100 days as mayor, I want to set up a land commission looking at the 50 worst stalled sites in Croydon. So not just the Nestlé Tower and St George's Walk, but areas up and down the borough. Maybe you've seen some yourself. I'm crowdsourcing them. Let me know some of them. Ambassador House in Thornton Heath is on my list as well. And I will use every legal power I have as a mayor to get that sorted. And look, it's not totally in my control. It's not. But you need a mayor who's going to fight. And there are things that you can do. So my first port of call would always be positive. Get the landowner in, get the developer in. Can we help you? Here is our planning team. What do you need to get this sorted? Please, my door is wide open. But if that doesn't work, you can't have people squatting on land like that. It's such a waste, not when there's a housing crisis, not when we desperately need new jobs and new shops and new homes. So I would start, maybe we need to send in the environmental health and safety inspectors, like every week. Make their lives really, really difficult. And we can even threaten compulsory purchase orders. And let me just be very clear about that, because they're right. The council does not have the money to be buying any of that land. You would need an external partner to make sure that happened. But damn straight that if I can threaten any kind of legal action against a company and I've got another investor who wants to take it on, I'll take it on.
Thank you, Rona.